Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبيه ومصطفاه وبعد. Our dear viewers, welcome to another live edition of Ask Huda in another blessed day in a blessed month of Ramadan 1441 after the migration of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and we are in the final stretch, just a couple more days to go, inshallah. Tonight is a very special night. Tonight, inshallah, is going to be the night of the 27th of Ramadan. Under any circumstances, no matter how tired, how fatigued, how busy you are, put everything on hold. And from sunset, from the time you break fast until Fajr, you should be very vigilant. You should be doing your utmost act of worship in order to witness a Layla, which could be Laylatul Qadr, could be better than 83 years of constant worship. Khayrun min alf shahr. We'll talk about it down the road, but after I remind you with our phone numbers and the contact informations. Area code 002, then 0238 131, then area code 002, then 01005469323. And for your convenience, WhatsApp numbers, area code 00134780625, and finally area code 0013614891503. And do me a favor, no text messages. Those 4 lines, even if you do send a text message, it will not be accessible for me to look into them or take the questions. I know that some very lovely viewers would still send their text messages or WhatsApp messages, and unfortunately I won't be able to read them, so they think that we're neglecting them. No, wallahi, we're not neglecting them. I only have one person on board, so we can either take the emails and manage the live show and some of the very serious questions in the inbox, or we cannot do anything. So the priority is for calling in. The questions which come to me in the inbox, I answer them live on Ask Huda. The questions which come during the episode are being collected and answered, hopefully in the same order, in the next episode or the next episodes. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide all of us to what is best. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Amani from Australia, welcome to Ask Huda.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So my question is regarding zakat. Hello?
Yes, I'm just waiting for you to say your question, Sister Amani.
Yeah, okay, so my question is regarding zakat. I just wanted to know because we usually pay our zakat in the beginning of the year, so in January, and we wanted to change the month, the time to Ramadan. I just wanted to know how to go about paying zakat in the future. Like, should we pay zakat for the first 5 months and then continue paying in Ramadan, or how are we supposed to do it?
طيب. Thank you, Sister Amani from Australia. Assalamu alaikum. Haytham from Bangladesh. Haytham, assalamu alaikum, akhi Haytham.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you? I'm from Bangladesh.
Okay, your question, please.
My question that I heard that there is a hadith saying that before drinking was banned, Ali leading Mr. Ali leading in the Jamaat of Asr or Maghrib while he was drinking, and mistakenly she repeats some line from the Surah Surah Kafirun. Is that authentic hadith?
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't get the hadith that you quoted.
Okay, I don't remember the hadith actually, but I heard that this is a authentic hadith.
How do I know if you do not remember the hadith? How am I supposed to judge the hadith if you didn't say a hadith? طيب Haytham, try to remember the hadith, share it with me. Inshallah, I'll be more than happy to tell you whether it's authentic or not, or even the meaning of the hadith. Okay? Assalamu alaikum, Shamil from the UK. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Go ahead.
Someone told me that if you become a Hafiz, you could take 7 people to Jannah. Is this true or not? And my second question is, in the Quran, there's these minarets on some verses. What do these minarets mean?
There are some
Minarets.
minarets. Okay. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Sarah from Egypt. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking. Go ahead, Sister Sarah.
I have 2 questions, if that's okay.
Naam.
When we pay zakat, are we allowed to donate to something with the zakat, something sadaqah jariyah? For example, can we build a water well in a poor village, or do they have to be separate things, the zakat and the sadaqah jariyah?
Okay, can you raise your voice? The viewers, next time, whenever you call, raise your voice, please, because I can barely hear you. But
Okay.
I got your question, Sister Sarah.
Okay. My second question is, one of the requirements, I read in the hadith that to be one of the 70,000 that will enter paradise without questioning is to not ask anyone to do ruqyah for you. If someone does ruqyah for you without you asking them, or praying for you without you asking them, does this also remove you from one of the 70,000, or does that not count?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Got your question, Sister Sarah. Sister Amani from Australia, she says, normally we pay our zakah in January, and now we want to pay it in Ramadan for a greater reward. What can we do, and can we pay half of it for 5 months and the rest? In fact, Sister Amani, Muslims do not go by the Gregorian calendar, particularly in the zakah matter. As you know that the Hijri calendar is almost a couple weeks shorter than the Gregorian calendar. So that's why once you started possessing an amount which is zakatable, which we'll call it nisab, approximately 6K, then in this case, you mark down the day on your calendar. Which day is it? Monday? No, I mean also the date. It's Rabi'ul Awwal, the 13th. So Rabi'ul Awwal, the 13th, next year, you check out your position. How much do you have? Do you still have the same amount or more? In this case, it is zakatable. But it was a Rabi'a, but my intention, I wanted to pay it in Ramadan. No problemo. You can always pay it in Ramadan, but in advance, not to be postponed. Yani this year, my zakah is in Dhul Hijjah, for instance. It's 3.5 months from now. You know, Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah, almost, it depends on which date of Dhul Hijjah. Let's say in the beginning. So we're talking about 2 months. So instead of paying my zakah in Dhul Hijjah or in the month of Muharram, the beginning of the next year, I like to earn an extra reward. So I want to pay my zakah in Ramadan. No problem. So we will advance the payment of zakah in Ramadan and fix the date in Ramadan. Okay? Then that is acceptable. Assalamu alaikum. Tasneem from Nigeria.
Yes.
Tasneem,
Make
assalamu
sure
alaikum.
that can the man pray in this house? Can a Muslim man pray in this house?
Can a Muslim pray in whose house, ya Tasneem?
Yes, can a Muslim man pray in this house?
Can a Muslim pray in whose house? In whose house?
I said can a Muslim pray in his house? In his house.
Well, perhaps the connection is not as good. Maybe in the control they can collect your question, Tasneem. Assalamu alaikum. Khadija from India. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Naam, Sister Khadija, go ahead.
Alhamdulillah, we are very grateful to you. We are benefiting from your videos. And my child
Maybe the problem is with our speakers. Can you guys raise the speaker, the volume, please?
Can you hear me, Sheikh?
I can barely hear you. You're fading away. Can you raise your voice, Sister Khadija, please?
Yeah. Sheikh, you are benefiting so much from your videos, and thank you so much. My daughter, you're her inspiration for my daughter.
Okay, Jazakumullah khairan.
Can I post my question, Sheikh?
Yes, please.
We have two questions. One is regarding learning Quran in isolation.
Well,
is it permissible to learn Quran in isolation?
Okay. As a matter of fact, Sister Khadija, I remember your daughter Fatima, and I have her question, the etiquette of the recitation of the Quran, and her mom's question, yourself, learning the Quran in isolation. Okay?
Yeah,
and I shall begin by answering your questions now, inshallah.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Jazakallah khairan.
Jazana wa iyyakum. Barakallah fikum. Before I take even any call, Sister Fatima from the USA, if you give me a couple minutes, I need to answer Sister Khadija from India. Yes, you can learn the Quran in isolation, and we have plenty of time. You should actually take advantage of this opportunity and learn as much Quran as you can. Secondly, the etiquette of recitation of the Quran, making wudu, facing the Qibla, wearing nice clothes, wearing perfume, brushing your teeth, and al-isti'adha, the recitation of A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim in the beginning, and make sure that no distraction around you. Barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Fatima from the USA.
Walaikum assalam.
Go ahead.
My two questions are on, they are actually follow-up questions from yesterday, and then I have one new question, if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead.
So the first question is, if someone has gold more than nisab but do not have enough earnings on a daily basis, can we give zakat to them? And then in a scenario where, the second question is, in a scenario where zakat due date changes because of falling in and out of nisab, do we have to maintain the nisab for 1 year each time before paying zakat? Or do we have to give?
What was the second question again, Sister Fatima?
The second question is, if we fall in and out of zakat of nisab and our due date changes, zakat due date changes because of that?
Yes.
And do we have to maintain the nisab
Yeah,
for
I did
1
answer
year?
this question yesterday, and I say if you fall below the nisab anytime during the year, so that was interrupted. And then if you were to possess a nisab again, you begin from the day you started possessing the nisab, and until you come around the same date of the next year, there should not be any interruption. If you fall behind, if it falls lesser than the nisab, then you start over from the day you possess this amount all year round. As far as giving the zakat to somebody who has gold, which is zakatable, and but they're poor, they live day to day or hand to mouth, it depends how much gold they have, because a woman may possess her own jewelry and then we're not again ask her to sell her gold in order to feed the family. But if the person, they have all the saving in gold and they don't have any cash, why shall I give them zakah? So the word which would answer your question is faqir or miskin. If the person is poor or in needy, I may have my own flat, but I cannot go home to feed my kids because I don't have any money. Am I required to sell my house in order to feed the kids? No. The Muslim community, who are very rich, brothers and sisters, Muslims are extremely rich. And those who are extremely rich, whether individuals or countries, unfortunately, they donate very generously for unnecessary causes, for nonsense causes, for parties, for clubs, for horses, for whatever, okay, for festivals abroad. And when it comes to helping the poor, they're very tight. So there is حق معلوم والذين في أموالهم حق معلوم. Whenever we give the poor in a charity, we're not doing them a favor. We are fulfilling our duties towards Allah and towards them. Allah says about the traits of the believers who will be successful, that in their wealth there is a certain portion which is known. This is the haqq for the poor, the needy, the orphans, and those who are in destitute and financial adversity. So I'm not asking a person who was one day a doctor, now he's retired and he doesn't have money, or he's a principal of school and he's an honest person. I shouldn't ask him to sell his house in order to feed his kids or get his daughter married. We are rich. We should support all those people who are in need. And we have plenty of money. Muslim Ummah is very rich. Rich to the extent that Europeans and Americans look at us, at the Muslim countries, and they think we are insane. We are out of our mind the way we waste our money. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to what is best. Assalamu alaikum. Ahmed from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, next is Imad from Sri Lanka. Yeah, Imad.
Yes.
Naam, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Sheikh, I have one question. Sheikh, my question is, are we allowed to pray Eid al-Fitr prayers at home in congregation?
Yes, you are. And if you're watching me on my page, below there you will find a video that talks about the recommendation of praying Eid at home, whether by yourself or in congregation, and how to offer the prayer. Barakallah fikum. Akhi Shamil from the UK. Shamil from the UK, who asked about the word of a Hafidh al-Quran, that he will intercede for 70 of his family members. Akhi, this is concerning the martyr, the shaheed, not Hafidh al-Quran. Hafidh al-Quran will be rewarded himself, and he will be promoted in paradise to match the same level of the number of ayat that he memorized and he used to recite on a regular basis. His parents will be honored. There are some ahadith talking about interceding for 10 of his family members, but they are weak. Okay? Barakallah fiqh. The minaret sign is an indication that there is a sujood. You should prostrate yourself. It comes after there is a little line on top of some words. Normally, wasjud waqtarib. So there is a word of commanding sujood. أَلَّا يَسْجُدُوا لِلَّهِ الَّذِي يُخْرِجُ الْخَبَأَ. In Surah An-Naml, there is an ayah, the Hudhud was talking to Sulaiman alayhi salam. It's talking about the sujood. So there is 15 or 16, according to different madhahib, ayahs in the Quran which require sujood, an emphatic sunnah. Assalamu alaikum. Diablo from the USA. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, sister.
I have 3 questions today.
Naam.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, first one is about zakat. If person invested in a business but didn't get any money from it yet, do they have to pay zakat on that invested money?
Share with me the kind of business, sister Diola. Yani, did he buy a store?
Hotel.
A hotel, okay. And now he owns a hotel, correct?
They are building it.
They are building it. And when they build a hotel, basically it's for rent, correct?
Yes.
So far, whatever is spent on it, zero zakah. You don't pay any zakah on it. And when the hotel's building is accomplished, there is no zakah as well. When you start renting the room after the lockdown, inshallah, and you start making money, by the end of the year, you calculate how much money you still have after paying the utilities, the taxes, the maintenance, and the salaries, and you pay zakah on that.
Okay, thank you.
You're most
And
welcome.
my next question is about Laylat al-Qadr.
Naam.
So I'm originally from Uzbekistan.
Naam. Diablo, are you still there? Ayub from Morocco.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Salah, I have two questions.
Naam.
The first question is there is a website called Fever. It's like a platform from freelancers. So I work there as a designer. I design logos, and that website is I found that is an Israel website.
What did you find out about it?
That it is an Israel website.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say this because what they do for our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Should I stop working there or what?
What do you do?
I design logos for people there.
Okay, for companies you mean?
No, just for people who want logos. They order a logo, so I designed from the logo for $5 or something like that.
Akhi, if the logos you're designing are halal, do not have any violations, then your job is lawful. The matter of working for them or not working for them, it's totally your decision. I paint and I make designs as well. So I do to whomever I want. It's not about how much, it's about my personal satisfaction. Then whether the contents halal or haram. If it is halal, I do it. If I believe that those guys are not good, okay, and the design is lawful, it's entirely up to me. So I abstain as a free world, okay, and you work as a freelance. Barakallah feek, Ayub from Morocco. Abdul Muttalib from India. Abdul Muttalib. Naam.
Yes. Abdul Muqtadir.
Naam, go ahead.
My question.
Naam. Yeah, Abdul Muttalib. طيب, let's take Sister Sarah's questions because I do believe I answered all the previous questions, alhamdulillah, for this segment. Sister Sarah had two questions. Can one's obligatory alms or zakat be paid towards a continuous charity quickly? As-sadaqatul jariyah, or the continuous charity, is an act which if you donate towards, it will continue to benefit people, the beneficiaries, the poor, and accordingly its reward is continuous, and that's why it's called continuous charity. Examples: making a river, a creek, digging a water well, building a masjid, a school, a hospital, an orphanage, printing Quran, da'wah materials. So long as it is circulated, or as long as it is sitting benefiting people, 100, 200, 300, 500 years, you still receive a reward. I visited the water well Bi'r Ruma, which was purchased by Uthman ibn Affan more than 1400 years ago, and I visited the garden that is around it, the dates which are being produced, then distributed or sold, then the price is spent in a charity. So Uthman ibn Affan made a waqf more than 1400 years ago, almost 1440 years ago. And he's still earning its reward until today. That is the meaning of as-sadaqatul jariyah. In the case of zakatul mal, it must be handed over to the poor in cash. It is none of my business to buy clothes or food. There is another sort of the zakah which is called zakatul fitr, to be given to the poor in the form of food. Non-profit organizations, they collect the zakah and they dig water wells for poor people in Africa, for instance, in some countries, without mentioning names because some people get very sensitive. We're all poor, alhamdulillah, and we're not doing the poor a favor. This is their right. So mashallah, the water well lasted for 15 years. Naam, every time somebody is fetching water, you will be rewarded. Let me tell you also, Sister Sarah, Allah loves fulfilling what He mandates more than giving the voluntary charity or the voluntary prayers. So as zakah, as far as reward, is a lot greater than any voluntary charity. Because Allah says, ما تقرب إلي عبدي بشيء أحب إلي مما افترضته عليه. The second question is concerning a sound hadith. It's agreed upon its authenticity with two different narrations. One which says concerning the 70 people whom Allah the Almighty will admit to paradise without any previous questioning or reckoning, and accordingly no punishment. Just go to Al-Jannah. The Prophet ﷺ listed their traits as follows. He said, لا يسترقون لا يتطيرون على ربهم يتوكلون. The narration of Muslim, it has also لا يرقون, while the more sound narration says لا يسترقون, because الرقية is a sunnah, and the Prophet ﷺ used to recite ruqya upon himself, upon his grandchildren, upon his family members, upon his spouses, and he ordered in so many hadith the recommendation of a-ruqya, which is the recitation of ayat of the Quran or supplications, either for means of recovery, means of protection, alleviation of pain, etc., etc. So, make a-ruqya is permissible. Furthermore, it is recommended. ولكن يسترقون. يسترقون is when you say, Sheikh Muhammad, could you please recite ruqya upon me? I have been having migraine. Is it permissible? Yes, Sister Sarah, it is permissible. But those who put their trust in Allah so much so that they don't even bother asking from human beings. They don't ask from anyone. Yani, similar to Ibrahim alayhi salam, when they built this huge fire to cast him in it. So when he was falling in fire, Jibreel alayhi salam comes to him and he asks him if he needs any assistance. He says, from you? No. From Allah, hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil. He is sufficient for me, and He is the best disposer of all affairs. He knows that Jibreel can blow in fire and put it out, but he trusts Allah so much that he doesn't need that instant help from any creature. This is a very high level, brothers and sisters. So those who do not even ask people to recite ruqya upon them because they trust Allah will cure them, when they recite it themselves, when they ask from Him by themselves, they are in a higher level. وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ, and this is to crown their achievement. They truly put their trust in Allah. That doesn't mean that asking people to recite ruqya upon you is haram or disliked. It is permissible. And now we'll take a short break and we'll be back inshallah in a couple minutes for some more. Please stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. Our phone numbers as well as the rest of the contact informations will appear on the bottom of your screen for your reference. Assalamu alaikum. Dawood from Jamaica.
Wa alaikum assalam. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
How are you, Dawood?
Alhamdulillah. How are you, Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah wa shukrullah. What time is it in Jamaica now?
MashaAllah. It's 9:41 a.m.
Okay, and you're watching us on the IPTV or the Facebook or YouTube. How do you view us?
I'm watching the YouTube. I can also access the Facebook page as well.
Okay, good. So what is your question, Akhi Dawood?
Now, so, you know, due to the pandemic, there's guidelines and protocols by countries, the government of countries. So in regards to the social distancing, I want to know if the Eid Salah would be valid if we establish it while being like 6 feet apart.
Okay, let me ask you a question. According to
No.
your protocol, does the government allow you to have a congregational Eid prayer keeping the physical distancing?
I'm not quite sure of it. I would have to talk to the imam and imams at the other massages and find out. But they are allowing gatherings, I think up to 15. But you have to keep social distance, which is 6 feet apart.
Let me answer you,
from each other.
inshallah, Dawood. If in your local society or your country or your city, they allow you to get together to pray Eid or Jumu'ah keeping the physical distancing, this is definitely permissible. Everyone should bring their prayer rugs or janamaz and pray distant from each other. This is great. As a matter of fact, a lot of countries, including Malaysia, and this is a country which I love a lot, they actually resumed and they opened the masajid and the congregational prayers beginning from the last 10 days of Ramadan, and even Dr. Zakir Naik is in i'tikaf as well, not just praying in the masjid. So if the government allows that, and meanwhile, because every health ministry, they can assess the situation better than myself or anyone else from abroad. So if this is the case, yes. If not, and they say no getting together whatsoever, and you gotta close the masajid, okay, pray at home with your wife and kids. Akhi Dawood from Jamaica. Barakallah feek. Assalamu alaikum. Haidar from Finland. Ya Haidar, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Sheikh, first of all, I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart to you and your team for helping us in this Ramadan, trying to understand so many things about our deen. And secondly, I also want to let you know that there was a kid called Iyad from Saudi Arabia who called you. He is my nephew, and I asked him to call you specifically. So I hope
He had the 6 years old who called from the KSA 3 days ago.
Yes. I asked him specifically because he asks me these questions that why do you have to pray, and we try to answer him. But I thought that let's get a professional answer for a 6-year-old, and it was alhamdulillah very good.
Jazakallahu khairan. So do you have a question today?
Of course. I have one question. First one is that I want to know that I live in Finland, and I am the only one who's earning in my family. I have a wife and a kid. And now, as my daughter is growing up, it's becoming a bit of a difficulty to earn more. So the government helps you by providing you housing benefit. Is that halal? Because I'm not working for it, so getting that housing benefit, is it halal for me?
100%
secondly,
halal.
It's 100%. Oh, that's great. Oh, and the second question is that here in Finland, if you go for buying a house, for example, there's no interest-free manner. There's always mortgage, and but the thing is that whenever you buy the house, the amount is fixed, and it's they have the borrowing or the how do you say it? It has the
mortgage.
Interest.
The mortgage.
But the final amount is fixed, and then you can pay it in 20 years or 10 years or 15 years, how long ever you like. So is that halal, or do we have to actually go for saving up the whole money and then buying it?
Look, Haidar, in brief, if you buy any item and the item is put on sale with two different prices, if you pay cash, you get it for 100,000. And if you pay on an installment, it becomes 150,000 for 20 years. And this is it. This is the final price. So there is nothing called 100,000 plus 6%, 8%, 20% interest. No. I know that if I pay the full amount, it will be 150,000. That is permissible. But read through the contract, please. Jazakallah khairan. Haidar from Finland. Sister Asia from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum.
I have few questions regarding jewelry, zakat on jewelry. So, do we have to pay zakat on jewelry where, I mean, they are ornaments? To be we are using that. It is not for the purpose of some investment or saving. We have brought it, but we use not daily, but for some wedding or some occasion. And did Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's wife, they had gold, and did they give zakat on that? And there is one hadith, I don't know, some scholars are saying it is zaif, that a woman was wearing a bracelet and Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that you have to give on zakat or you will be punished in the hell. So is this zaif, anything related to that? Just regarding that. Jazakallah khair.
جزانا وإياكم. Next question or that's it? Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Abu Aisha from Sudan. Assalamu alaikum.
وبركاته. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله يا شيخ. جزاكم الله خيرا.
جزانا وإياكم.
Thank you very much for the enlightenment. I have two questions for you today, Sheikh.
No.
One is regarding zakat for cattle and sheep. What is the level at which one has to give zakat on them? And then the other one is
zakat on sheep?
Sheep. Sheep and cattle, yeah, sheep and cows.
Okay.
Yeah. The second question regards the maybe azan called during your during the suhoor time. Yeah. Okay.
Suhoor.
Huh?
Yes, okay. I got your question. طيب السلام عليكم. مدثر from Finland. السلام عليكم.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Go ahead.
Sheikh, I have two questions today.
Yeah.
The first question is, are the sins also multiplied the same way as the good deeds are multiplied during Ramadan? And the second question is, if someone is married to the woman of the book, and will there be any chance that they will be together in Jannah if she remains on her own religion? These are the two questions. Jazakumullah khairan.
Muddathir, I want you to answer the second question by yourself.
The second question, Sheikh.
Yeah, I want you to answer it. I'm asking you, what do you think?
In my little knowledge, it appears to be that they will not be together. Only the man is.
You know that there is an ayah. There is an ayah in Surah Al-Bayyinah, and Al-Bayyinah means a clear proof, the clear evidence. Surah Al-Bayyinah. إن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين في نار جهنم خالدين فيها أولئك هم شر البرية. What can I do with this ayah? What can I do with this ayah? لقد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله هو المسيح ابن مريم. What can I do with this ayah? What do you think?
I understand, Sheikh. I just wanted to, yeah.
You got the
Thank
answer.
you so much.
You got the answer.
Yes, yes. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Asia, the hadith, which is narrated by Amr ibn al-As, may Allah be pleased with him, about a woman who came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam wearing muskatani ghalidhatani min dhahab, two big bracelets of gold. He said, أتؤدين زكاة هذا? Do you pay zakah on these two bracelets? She says, no. He said, then you will be replaced with two bracelets of fire if you don't pay zakah on that. And this is one of two ahadith which Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi have based his view on, that women should pay zakah on their jewelry. The vast majority of the fuqaha, whether Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Malik, or Shafi'i, are of the view that the ornaments which women wear are not zakatable. And you know what I like in this regard. I like to be in the safe side, and I like to line up with Imam Abu Hanifa in this respect. The hadith is sahih according to some and hasan according to some others. We have a few questions here and there. I want to take a couple, like the brother who says, when is Eid al-Fitr? Eid al-Fitr, inshallah, it will be determined on Friday evening after sunset, and after we pray Maghrib, we'll start looking for the moon. If it is born, then the following day, which is Saturday, will be the Eid. If not, then Atimmu Shahra will complete the month 30 days, and then for certain the Eid will be on Sunday. I'm going to wrap up so many questions concerning paying the zakah to non-Muslims. Zakatul Fitr, like Amran, Hussein, and sister this and sister that, asking about the payment of the zakah to non-Muslims. We said, irrespective of the voluntary charity, mashallah, give them as much as they want, and as much as they need, if you can afford it, and you will be rewarded for that. And I addressed that fully yesterday. Zakatul Fitr, in the form of food. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the hadith of Abdullah ibn Abbas, he ordained Zakat al-Fitr in order to be طهرة للصائم من اللغو والرفث, as a means of purification for us. We were fasting during Ramadan in case that there was some obscene language, foul language, slip of the tongue, so that will take care of it in order to perfect our fasting and receive a full reward for it. وَطُعْمَةً لِلْمَسَاكِينَ, and the feeding for the poor and the needy people. Once it is mandatory zakat, then it should be given to Muslims. We said whenever it comes to the voluntary charity, give non-Muslims as much as you want. But the mandatory charity, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in ayah number 60, Surah At-Tawbah, إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين والعاملين عليها والمؤلفة قلوبهم وفي الرقاب والغارمين وفي سبيل الله وابن السبيل فريضة من الله. So this ayah is a doctrine, is a divine reference. Whom shall we pay the zakah to? You're going to say, what about وَالْمُؤَلَّفَةِ قُلُوبُهُمْ? In order to bring the hearts together. Of whom? People who are either new to Islam, contemplating the idea of Islam, according to Imam Abu Hanifa, the chieftains of their tribes. You're hoping that they will accept Islam, but you have a maid. You give her voluntary charity, no problem. But save the zakah, zakatul fitr or zakatul mal, to the poor. Barakallahu feekum wa jazakumullahu khairan. Let me see if we have any pending questions, because now Abu Aisha, I think his question was about suhoor while the adhan is being called. Of course not. The adhan, lughatan al-i'lam. Al-adhan linguistically means an announcement, it's time. In other words, if a woman is praying at home, can she pray soon after she hears the adhan? Of course. In other words, at the time of iftar, do you have to wait until the muazzin finishes the adhan, or say hayya ala salah or hayya al falah? Once he says Allahu Akbar, hurry, eat your dates, drink your water, right? Sahur. If the adhan is called on time, then once he says Allahu Akbar, if there is water in your mouth, spit it out. But if in your locality they call two adhans, the first adhan is just an alarm. The actual adhan, if there is water or food in your mouth, spit it out. You take it inside, you break your fast. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teach us what we don't know and guide us to what is best. Every day, since the past couple of days, I say, inshallah, I'll be speaking about Zakatul Fitr in details. But it seems like we're going to do it tomorrow, inshallah azza jal. And I'd like to bring to your attention that, inshallah, Human Appeal will be beginning their telethon of raising fund to feed the poor and sponsor orphans even after Ramadan, inshallah. And these guys are very smart. They chose a very right time. Tonight, inshallah, is the 27th night of the month of Ramadan. And Abdullah ibn Abbas says, I'm certain that Laylatul Qadr is on the 27th. And there are many views that Laylatul Qadr is on the 27th. We all know that it could be on the 25th, or 23rd, or 21st, or any night during the last 10 nights of Ramadan, as I like to keep repeating. But tonight is a very special night. It's a blessed night. And do your best to earn Allah's forgiveness. Do your best to earn Allah's mercy. And, whenever we're afraid of any calamities, also one of the best means to ward it off is by giving in a charity. صنائع المعروف تقي مصارع السوء. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us. Until tomorrow, inshallah, I leave you all in the care of Allah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen